Thomas, he is an Australian tap dancer, choreographer, educator, and creative. He is known for his ambitious tap dance productions and is sought out as a soloist performer. Thomas is a co-creator of The Tap Pack, a production that has toured prestigious venues around the world. They include the USA, the West End, the Sydney Opera House, Beijing, Berlin. He has performed and choreographed in live events all around the world, and additionally founded the Australian Tap Dance Company back home in Australia. Thomas has a truly diverse resume as a performer, working with the likes of Tap Dog's famed musical, The Great Gatsby, Singing in the Rain, Kylie Minogue, X Factor, Australia's Got Talent. But the reason why we're here, Tom, he has recently created his own show called Two Right Feet. If you are familiar with tap dance performances that typically feature flashy tropes and jazz hands, get ready for a refreshing and unique experience because this is tap dance like you've never seen. And we are lucky enough to have a chat to Tom about his upcoming Two Right Feet shows at the Adelaide Fringe Festival. He's with me right now. Tommy, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm
Yeah.
doing okay. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. I
Hey,
appreciate it.
it's a real pleasure. Yeah, we're trying to get as many people in, and you've got something so special coming up. So it's our awesome way to get it out there and hopefully help in some way to have people come and watch your show in Adelaide.
I
Um,
appreciate that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no, of course, man. Well, we'll firstly just get a little bit about you. I know I jabbered on for a little bit at the beginning about who you are, but let's go with, can you tell us a little bit about your tap dancing career and who you are firstly?
Yeah, uh, I grew up in Melbourne, and my mum was a dance teacher, so I learned a lot of tap dancing from her, and also with a teacher named Barbara Lynch. And I was super lucky to have great mentors growing up, like Chris Horsey and Paul Davis. But I really kicked into this, I suppose, more like professional mindset and kind of a more adult appreciation for tap and my pursuit of tap as something that, I really valued personally. When I did a tap festival in Melbourne and the headliner was Jason Sammer-Smith. And then the next year, we had Jason Sammer-Smith and Domisha Sunbury Edwards. And I remember walking away from that thinking, all right, Jason is 26 years old right now. I was like, I want to be that good by the time I'm 26. And I was like,
How
I
old were
went in
you
the
then?
studio and was just like, I was 18. Oh, no, I would have been maybe 16, 17. So, yeah, maybe 17. Um, so I was like, I jumped in the studio and was like, yeah, I'm gonna practice because they give you, well, Jason gave us the whole idea of wood shedding, and you could go in a room and you remove all the furniture and you practice until you're the best tap dancer that you can be. And so I think for a while I was doing that. I was on that. Yeah, so I started working in Sydney as a dancer. I was actually pursuing to doing more like as a commercial dancer and a backup dancer. That's why in that little spiel you read there, I've done stuff like X Factor and yeah, dancing for artists and whatnot. But I just got pulled back into tap. I was lucky enough to work for Tap Dogs, and which was an iconic show that I just looked up to as a kid. So doing that was a bit of a dream. And just yeah, and then everything sort of snowballed. I created my own stuff, and here I am today. Really.
Yeah, it's a pretty extensive and wonderful career, Tommy, that you've got so far. And your Two Right Feet show is not your first. You've works that you've created. You created a show called the Tap Pack. How did that one come about?
So I think the story we typically tell is that the four of us, which is Nigel Turner Carroll, myself, Jordan Pollard, and Jesse Rasmussen, we were sick of sort of waiting by the phone for auditions, and we were like, let's do our own thing. Let's create something. So it was a joining of forces of friends that were passionate about a certain idea of like, okay, we love we love the Rat Pack and the camaraderie that they bring, and melding that with tap dance, which we loved, and we wanted to do tap dance that was more firmly in the style of jazz and jazz music, and that sort of more American feeling tap dance. And so yeah, from there I think we did our first season 2013 at Parramatta Riverside, and then it just I learned so much from that project. Like as soon as we had done that one, it was for me. I remember Jordan saying, "Okay, what's next?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, all right." It was not just one thing that we're going to do. All right, yeah, what is next? Yeah, let's do this more, and then it just sort of snowballed. So yeah, we've been lucky enough to tour around the world and go everywhere just off an idea that we had as friends to to come together. We had awesome producer Kim Halpin who put her life and soul in it, and yeah, here we are.
Yeah. Well, you've done very well with that show. Um, and now you've got Two Right Feet. Tell us about what we can expect from Two Right Feet. And is this the premiere of Two Right Feet in Adelaide?
Um, Not really, but in some ways, like I always say, a lot of it is improvised, so it would never be the same twice. So you're always getting a bit of a premiere. But I did Sydney Fringe Festival maybe 2 years ago, and then last year I did Civic in Newcastle and Melbourne as well. So this is sort of me trialing out again and just trying to get the show better. And I'm going to Edinburgh, which is not fully out there yet, but I'm sure by
Oh,
the
scoop.
time this goes up, it will be. But yeah, I've got big plans to go to Edinburgh in August. So
Amazing.
yeah, yeah.
That's very exciting. You made the Tap Pack with some friends. Two Right Feet is a solo venture. Why is what inspired you to make something like a solo works?
I suppose two things. Like when I find I've tried to start many different projects. Finding a good team where you're all in the same like life stage and you've all got the same commitment level and that you all are willing to go in on that project is actually really difficult. Now that I've done it a bunch of times, I realize what a rare thing we had with the Tap Pack. Um, and and so I suppose many things that I tried didn't really get I got to a point where it's like I really like I've got so many passion ideas that I still want to do. Well, what do I do here? I was like, well, I can if I do a solo show, I really only have myself to kind of rely on here. So I was like, I'll just do it. It was super. It was very mentally I don't want to say taxing. It was mentally challenging, going like sort of going through this roller coaster of going, why would I have a solo show? Who wants to come just see me by myself? Like,
Okay.
what's what is why come see me? And to going, no, this is terrible. It's awful. Oh my god, you should quit. And then to no, I can do this, and it was like this total roller coaster. And a lot of people I've talked to have said, oh yeah, that's it's just part of the process.
You needed to read
Um,
your CV a few times and be like, oh no, I guess you would want to come come and
yeah,
watch.
well, but I suppose you rationalize and go, yeah, but there were other people involved in that. This is just me. And but that it is a solo show, but I sought out some people that I felt could bring something really valuable for me to put on stage as well. Like working with Harry Sutherland on keys, he's just an incredible player. And same with Noel Mason on the bass, and then having Nigel Turner Carroll direct it. So I don't feel completely alone either. Like it's got input there.
You expand
So
more on that process, like yes, or it seems now then still a fairly collaborative process. What is it like with the inception or conception, I should say, of an idea, and then how does that develop into a show?
Mm. Well, for this one, I really wanted to I wanted this to be about music and tap dance, placing tap dance as a kind of musical instrument, as well as this performance entity. So it was very much about finding tap dance tap dance choreography and putting tap dance choreography forward that I really enjoy and I really love. That speaks to me, and finding music that I think is authentic to that as well. uh, I'd love to say that there's like some big, you know, clever process that has deep thought involved in it, but really, I get an inkling of an idea and I try something out and I go, oh, this would be good in the show, and it is a mix of things within one very general theme. So I love dancing to like bebop music and like really strong jazz music, like from Freddie Hubbard and Dizzy Gillespie. Love anything that Oscar Peterson plays, and so all from that, picking stuff from that jazz world that I really love, and creating a mix of music, music, me making music with my feet, and choreography that I think fits within that. And that's been kind of the overarching theme, and how I've kind of gone about the process of putting stuff in there. It's also been I've worked kind of change into the fabric of the show. So if there's a number that I'm like, this one's feeling stale, I'll probably just get rid of it and put something else new and fresh in, so that it's always changing.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So that's yeah. Broadly, I don't know if that really answered your question, but yeah,
Yeah, for
that's a
sure. No,
bunch
that
of ideas
sounded
that relate.
totally. And when why two right feet?
Yeah, I think I'm always looking for the tap dancing pun, really. So instead of two left feet, it was two right feet. Yeah, that's
So
really
good on
it.
both of your legs. All of them are dominant.
They both are dominant. Yeah.
I like it. I'm a big fan of the title. I think it's really cool. Really, really cool.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you like it.
Of course.
I well,
Well, I'm a bit of a dag, and I don't mind a
I
pun.
Yeah, yeah. The way I wanted to think about the show was, when you go and see a comedian, it's like the comedian's name. You're going to see them and what they have to offer. They have a bunch of jokes that they want to tell you. Kind of wanted it to be like, well, you're coming to see me, and here's a bunch of choreography and music and everything that I like, that I hope you like as well. And then the show I mean, I can't remember a comedian's show name that that kind of it doesn't stick in my brain that much. More like I went to see such and such as a whoever. So the show title for me was kind of just like, well, this is this show, but there'll be another show, and there'll be hopefully more, and it'll keep evolving.
Oh, very cool. Is there a moment in the show that you love that you've seen or resonate with audiences the most, or something that you just really enjoy? I mean, you probably it's all your work. Is there like a special something that the audience can look forward to that you really can't wait to get to that point in the show?
Well, I suppose a unique bit of the show that I feel like I'm developing and getting to a place where I can really excel in it, and it's something that's a bit different. Is I'm doing these kind of like slam poems where I'm uh, I've made up these poems, and then I'm tapping and I'm doing the poems at the same time. So it's a bit of a spoken word and tap at the same time.
Wow.
I do one about the kind of history of tap, and about how there's a bit of a there's lesser known tap figures in the tap world that they deserve their recognition as well. Um, and so that was kind of the theme of this big long poem that I do in it. So I like, that's one of the things, going back to what I was saying before about like the roller coaster. I was like, does this idea work? I'm like, this could be so terrible. And then once I got it on stage a few times, and a few people commented like, I really enjoyed that. That was something really different that I So not that I need that validation to, to decide that it's a good idea, but in some ways, you don't want to, I don't like to only go on stage doing what I think is great. I do like to take in, what do I think an audience member is going to really enjoy as well. So I do take that on board a little bit.
How do we get into Adelaide Fringe? What was the process there?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many fringe shows. It's such a massive. My wife is going this way. There's so many people that go to the Fringe, and it's such a massive festival. And
Huge.
I just did through the normal channels. I tried to apply to different promoters and theaters, and then eventually I found this venue who was interested in taking me on, and um, here we are. There's not a big taxing story to it other than I searched out a venue who was keen to take me on. I was very lucky that they were interested. Um, yeah.
Still a fair amount of work behind the scenes though, like of you creating the show and the pieces, then collaborating with your band and trying to get all that together, creating then something to pitch towards the those promoters and then finding that. So it's not just I like to tap dance and come watch me in a show. There's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of other elements that might
Oh
go
yeah.
unthought about um, with that, which is really cool. And I mean, I suppose I know with the Tap Pack show that's evolved over the 10 or so years of refining and tuning and um, I mean, you with a list of where you've traveled with it of the States and the West End, and like there's a massive business or mindset that you would have to put those things out. So it's all I'm saying is I think it's admirable that you're doing your show in Sydney and then you're finding another venue in Adelaide and off to the Fringe in Edinburgh. Like it's really cool that you with all your stuff that you're doing that you're able to do that. So well done.
Oh, I
Um,
appreciate that. The thing I always have in my head is make it exist first, then you can worry about all the rest. Because
yeah.
I feel like over the amount of people who've said, oh, dear, I'm trying to get funding for it. Oh, I'm trying to get this producer interested. I want to do this. Oh, that's a great idea. And then you just never see it again because if you're waiting to get your ducks in a line, they never will. Um, yeah, so I think yeah, you just have to yeah, I've got 10 hats on. I'm the producer, I'm the marketing person, I'm choreographing it, I'm performing in it. And I think that to small scale, theater productions and things, that's kind of inevitably what happens. It would be amazing if it got to the level where I could have people, boosting it up and doing roles, and I can focus on making the show amazing. Um, yeah, that's the end goal. But for now, I have to be everything.
Really. And what would you say to the other person who's listening to this who's also sick of waiting by the phone um, for that audition? What would Tommy's advice be?
I think for the purposes of your own sanity and mental health, I think it's good to, if you're going for the positions, auditioning for things that people are going to give you roles in whatever they're doing, to have the other thing on the side that you're doing, whether it is dance or it's something else completely different, whether it's a show that you're creating yourself and you're trying to push that out there, or if it's just another job completely, that gives you the freedom to go to that audition and you weren't right for that because you had red hair, which is something you can't control, or you could, but apparently they don't think you can.
Or why would you when you
And
got
then
that luscious locks, right?
no, I'm not going to. I'm not touching it. Leave me alone.
Exactly.
Yeah, so then you've got the freedom to do that job and then miss out on it because of some ridiculous detail. And then instead of wallowing in the absolute pain and exhaustion of this whole auditioning process, you're like, all right, well, let's go back over this other thing I'm focusing over here. And maybe that sounds a little bit like but running away from the pain of that audition. But I think it just is a good, you're like, cool, all right, I've taken that on. That's annoying, but I can go to this other thing, and I've got something else I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
That for me, that has worked for
I
me.
feel like, well, it's the word that gets thrown around is rejection from those different people that you're auditioning for, and having something that you are saying, no, I'm accepted in this project where I want, and this is who, and I can do this. There's that self-worth, I suppose, that it's not just I'm not just saying getting those no's from the external things. It's that you can give yourself the opportunity to go, no, I'm valued and I'm good and I can do this one thing. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Tommy, tell us, when's this show happening in the Fringe? When are we on?
Okay, so Adelaide Fringe Festival, 15th of March at 3 p.m. and the 16th of March at 2 p.m., which is a Saturday, Sunday. You can book tickets. You could go on my Instagram, the link's in there. You can go on my website, I think it's on there. You can go to the Fringe website and put in Two Right Feet, and you'll probably find it. We've got a live pianist. I'm with Andrew Scott this time, who is absolutely amazing. Um, so it'll just be keys and me, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I've been like working hard at it and getting it better and better and refining it. So I can't wait to sort of share it with everyone.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to watch it. Two Right Feet is on at the Adelaide Fringe Festival on the 15th and 16th of March. Tommy, thank you so much for chatting with us and chukkers and all the best for your season and your season in Edinburgh that is on hush hush, but yeah,
I think I
chukkers.
can say that, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
the
going to Edinburgh.
2 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Amazing. Tommy, thank you so much, mate. We really appreciate you taking the time to have a chat with us.
I appreciate you having me on, and I love what you're doing and what you're trying to do for the tap community. I think um, there's not a lot out there for tap dancers, especially people who are like, I just want to follow tap, tap. I want to be tap focused. So I think it's awesome what you're doing.
Thanks, mate. No, we really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Cheers.